Good evening, everybody. It's Nick here. It's been a while. Actually, I've been in Wales and England. Actually, this is where I got the T-shirt today, and we'll be talking about Blade Runner 49, Blade Runner 2049. I watched it in England. I watched it at IMAX, and it blew my socks off. Like seriously, it's one of the best movies I've seen of all time, let alone this year. I thought that the Planet of the Apes 3. Rise of Planet of the Apes, or War, sorry, for Planet of the Apes. I thought that was my movie for this year, but Denis Villeneuve's movie has blown my little mind. It's coming 35 years after Ridley Scott's first movie. It's also worth remembering that Ridley Scott's first movie, of course, Blade Runner, didn't actually do very well either at the box office. And the reason I say either is that sadly neither has this one. The budget was 150 million, and they've only pulled in, I think it was 74 million in the US to date. In fact, I believe Warner Brothers have actually pulled it off the cinema circuit already. In putting things in like what was it? A Big Mama's Halloween special, Tyler Perry, whatever the fuck. Pretty bad state of affairs, if you ask me. It's really not to be unexpected, though, if you ask me anyway. The fact that Denis Villeneuve chose quite a different tact, which I appreciated, in building a hype around the movie, in that he didn't actually show anything about the plot. Now, in this age where we get fed bite-sized nuggets of absolutely everything, I think the generation needed to know where the plot was going before they even put their asses down on the seats of the cinema. I'm glad that he didn't do that, and in fact he has come out and sort of defended himself, saying that he didn't want to do it because he likes the idea of you going into the movie not knowing what's going on. He even comments about how during some of these festivals where he's on the jury, he watches 20 movies, he doesn't know where the genres are, he doesn't know anything about the movies until he sits down and watches them, gives them a sort of new look of the movie. So I am very disappointed. I was expecting this movie to, cripple people's bank accounts, and it doesn't seem to have done that, which is a damn shame because it is, like I say, one of the best movies. Now, we can just start by looking at a couple of the elements here that make it such a brilliant movie. We're looking at Denis Villeneuve, wherever, who is a master director. Every movie that he has made has been brilliant, and I'm not over-exaggerating. Go and look at Sicario, his Prisoners. Go and look at Arrival. All of the movies that he has made have been beautifully directed. He is an absolute master. He understands the camera. Then, of course, we have Roger Deakins, who is the cinematographer. He also worked with him on Sicario. And, my God, the cinematography in this movie is just, oh! I mean, sitting watching it, I at times, I literally had tears of awe in my eyes. And it's taken a lot. It takes a lot to get me there in the first place, and it's taken a long time to get there. I think the last time that probably happened was with Lord of the Rings, maybe. Didn't really get there with the whole Avatar thing, to be honest with you. Then, of course, we have Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfisch, who composed the music. I actually completely forgot that Hans Zimmer was involved, and so thank you, Gareth, for pointing it out. I thought that he said no, he wasn't going to. I think it was something else. My wires crossed it. But this Benjamin Wallfisch and Hans Zimmer, the score is fantastic. It actually supersedes the first movie in the electro scores, the menacing sort of building up of strings and deep tension in some of the moments. And it really does go a long way to allowing depth of character and sort of introspection, which the entire movie is about. It's about feelings. It's about being human. It's about memories and how those memories might not make us human, or maybe memories do make us human. So if you have memories and you're not a human, are you human? So yes, I loved the character development here. Brilliant work from, of course, one of my favourite, Harrison Ford is back. He looks pretty hard-ass in this. I like one of the memes that was going around because everyone wears amazing clothing. The costumes were fantastic, except for Harrison, who wears a sort of t-shirt. You can imagine him in the dressing room. I think the meme goes, someone says to him in the dressing room, "Harrison, here's your suit," and he says, "Fuck off." I can kind of imagine that because he really doesn't wear anything except for a t-shirt. And he's really good in it. He's not in it that long, but he's very, very good in it. Then, of course, you've got Ryan Gosling, who is fantastic in everything that he's been in. Got a serious crush on the guy, too. Him, Dan Stevens, and Chris Pratt, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be interesting evening dinner. Come on, people, don't be sick. Then, of course, we've got Dave Bautista. Now, he isn't in this that long either, but I'm glad that, I forget, was it Ridley Scott's son that did it? they did a sort of 5 minute short. So they did 3 or 4 reviews before the movie came out, and there was a short with the Dave Bautista and his character, and I really liked that short. It was brilliant. He's really growing into being a pretty damn mature actor, and you would not think that. Yes, he's got acting experience in WWE, suck it, but this is different caliber. This is deep caliber, and from his facial expressions to tears to shaking and stuff, he's done wonders. He's come so far from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. He was better in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. By his own admission, he felt quite intimidated by a lot of the actors that he was around. I think now he really has gone up to the full degree, and he's really sort of tapping into his inner actor, and I really, really do appreciate it. I think the guy's also just great. I really like him. Then, of course, we had Robin Wright, who's one of the... Okay, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but she's fantastic in this too. We don't get much from her. It's definitely centers around the main characters. She does play a major role though, but she's fantastic. Really, really great. Anna de Armas, wow, she is very, very pretty, I have to say. I sat in the movie and I was like, where the hell is she from? I recognized her, and the penny dropped when I walked out. She's actually from Knock Knock, that horrible movie with Keanu Reeves. At least she bears, yeah, she does this. She has done nudity before, and she's really great in this. She's fantastic, very soft, very loving, and it's a mindfuck too at the end. But like I say, I'm not going to do spoilers over here. Yeah, like I say, I'm just very, very sad that it didn't do so well. But as I said, I kind of expecting it to not do well. It is a very avant-garde kind of movie. It is a niche movie. It's a sort of detective noir movie that questions the origins of life and what it is to be. It's not a pew-pew type of thing. And in fact, Craig and I were talking about this the other day after we were let down at a Thor screening, and he said that he went and watched it with his wife, and she didn't enjoy it. She didn't enjoy it at all. He loved it. But that's because he's a critic. I think there is a bit of a separation there. Not that you have to be a critic to enjoy it, but I don't think it's for the average layman. There are long scenes where very little happens. It is slow. The pacing is slow. It's deliberately done slow. It's not accidental, and that's to build up. Jade Liotta was also very good in this, though he only actually makes a couple of appearances. He's supposed to be the big bad, sort of antagonist. Or at least I thought he was supposed to be, but again, this is what happens when you don't show trailers. So yeah, he was fantastic in it, but not really in it that much. So I was quite surprised by that. But yeah, the lead performances, and like I say, Gosling is phenomenal. He really is. He doesn't actually have to show a range of emotions, and there's a reason for that. But damn, he does well, and the material is solid. It really is solid. It's one of the few occasions, and I'm going to have a sip of wine, it's one of the few occasions where the second movie is actually better than the first. I honestly to God believe that this is better than Ridley Scott's version. I've heard a lot of people saying that they preferred the sound score in the first. I disagree with that entirely. I think Denis Villeneuve, he knows exactly what he's doing behind the camera, and he can tell a story without having to shove the story in your face. And I think Ridley Scott did that back in the day too. He's kind of lost it since then, especially with things like Alien Covenant. But yeah, this movie, I would give it a solid 9.5 out of 10, and I have no shame in saying that. I think Kirby also gave it 9.5. Mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. From, like I say, the sound score, the visual effects are just out of this world. And the themes in it too are amazing. The Easter eggs as well. There are so many little bits in the movie that if you look into, I mean, we sat after this and we had a couple of glasses of wine and we spoke about certain scenes. Like I said, I'm not going to give you spoilers, but just one or two like visual references, and you look at that and you Google it, and you go, oh my God, I didn't think of that. There's also a lot of music in this, like nursery rhyme music, that some people are not quite sure of yet, like Peter and the Wolf. Not quite sure why they played that song in this so much. I can't get the reference. I can't understand exactly what that would be. I can get a Pinocchio reference, but not really Peter and the Wolf. But yeah, I'm sure you guys are far smarter than I am, so maybe let me know. But yeah, I really do recommend watching this. Go out and get it on video on demand, because as I say, it's out of the cinemas now after only a couple of weeks in stretch. Very sad. And I think you really will love this. If you enjoy science fiction, like Dune, for example, and as I said, the first Ridley Scott Blade Runner, then I think you're going to love this. Give it a shot, and yeah, till next time.